Everyday English listening. Let's listen to English every day because it helps us improve our listening skills, understand pronunciation better, learn new vocabulary, and become more confident in real conversations. Keep practicing.
Repeating helps you learn English better and more easily. Learning English can sometimes feel difficult, especially when you are just starting. There are so many new words, grammar rules, sentence patterns, and sounds to remember. It may seem like you need a great memory to learn a new language. However, there is one powerful secret that can make learning English easier for everyone: repetition. Repetition means doing something again and again. In English learning, it means practicing the same words, sentences, and sounds many times until they become easy and natural. This simple method is one of the most effective ways to improve your English skills. Repeating builds memory. One of the biggest reasons repetition works is that it helps you remember better. Our brains learn through practice. When you repeat a word or sentence, your brain stores that information more strongly. For example, if you hear the word important just once, you may forget it. But if you hear and say important 5 or 10 times, it becomes easier to remember. The more often you see, hear, speak, and write the same word, the more it sticks in your memory. This is why many English teachers ask students to review vocabulary often. Repeating the same word over a few days helps you remember it long term. You may forget the word after one day, but if you review it every day for a week, you will remember it much better. Repeating improves pronunciation. Pronunciation is an important part of speaking English. When you repeat words and sentences out loud, your mouth and tongue learn how to move correctly. It may feel strange at first to say new English sounds, but with repetition, your mouth becomes more used to it. You will sound clearer and more confident when you speak. For example, if the word through is difficult to say, you can repeat it many times slowly. Through, through, through. Then try using it in sentences. I walked through the door. She looked through the window. By repeating, your tongue becomes more comfortable, and your pronunciation gets better each time. Repeating builds confidence. When you practice the same sentences many times, they become automatic. You don't have to stop and think before you speak. This makes you more confident when talking with others. For example, if you repeat common phrases like, "How are you?" or "Can I help you?" every day, you will feel ready to use them in real conversations without being nervous. Repetition gives you the chance to learn not only the meaning of words, but also how they are used in real life. It makes you feel prepared and sure of yourself. Repeating helps with listening and understanding. Listening is another important part of English learning. When you repeat listening to English, your ears start to catch more words and sounds. You begin to understand the rhythm, tone, and speed of native speakers. At first, listening to English songs, movies, or podcasts may feel difficult. But if you listen again and again, you will start to understand more. You will begin to notice repeated words and expressions. This helps you improve your listening skills naturally. For example, try listening to a short English video every day. The first time, you may not understand everything. The second time, you might catch more words. By the 5th or 6th time, you may understand almost all of it. That's the power of repetition. Repeating helps with writing and grammar. Grammar rules can be tricky, But repetition helps. When you write similar sentences again and again, your brain learns the correct patterns. For example, if you write the sentence, "She goes to school every day," many times, you learn how the present simple tense works. You can also practice grammar by repeating sentence structures. I like to read. I like to swim. I like to cook. I'm going to the store. I'm going to study. I'm going to call my friend. Repeating grammar structures in writing and speaking helps you use them correctly without thinking too hard. Repeating makes learning simple and fun. Repetition doesn't have to be boring. In fact, it can be fun. You can repeat things in different ways to keep learning exciting. Here are a few ideas. Sing songs in English. Repeating the lyrics helps with memory and pronunciation. Watch the same cartoon or video many times. You will notice more each time. Repeat phrases with a partner. Practice dialogues or conversations together. Use flashcards every day. See the same words again and again. Play language games. Games with repeated words help make learning enjoyable. When you enjoy the process, learning becomes easier. Repetition helps you feel progress and success, which gives you more motivation to continue. Daily repetition is key. If you want to improve your English, make repetition part of your daily routine. Just 10 to 15 minutes a day of repeating vocabulary, sentences, or listening to short dialogues can make a big difference over time. It's better to study a little every day than a lot in one day and then stop. Here's a simple plan you can follow. Morning, repeat 5 to 10 vocabulary words. Afternoon, listen to a short video or podcast and repeat key sentences. Evening, practice speaking or writing the same sentence structure in different ways. By repeating a few small tasks every day, you build a strong English foundation. In the journey of learning English, repetition is like a good friend. It helps you remember new words, speak more clearly, understand faster, write better, and feel more confident. Repeating does not mean you are slow. It means you are smart. It's how your brain learns best. Don't worry if something feels hard the first time. Just repeat it again and again, and it will soon feel easy. Keep going, keep repeating, and you will see progress. Repetition truly helps you learn English better and more easily. Daily repetition is key that helps English learners get better. Learning English is a journey, and like any journey, it takes time, effort, and consistent steps forward. One of the most important habits that can help English learners improve steadily is daily repetition. Doing something every day, even for just a short time, makes a huge difference in how well and how fast you learn. Repeating vocabulary, phrases, and sentence structures daily helps you remember better, speak more clearly, and use English more naturally. Why daily repetition works. Our brains are like muscles. Just as we get stronger by exercising every day, our brains get better at English when we practice daily. Repetition helps move information from short-term memory into long-term memory. If you only see or hear a word once, you might forget it quickly. But if you repeat it again and again over many days, you remember it more deeply. Learning English isn't just about knowing a lot of words or grammar rules. It's about being able to use those words and rules confidently. Daily repetition allows you to practice using English until it feels automatic, like riding a bicycle. Once you repeat something enough times, you don't need to think hard. it becomes natural. Small steps every day lead to big progress. Some learners think they need to study for many hours in one day to improve. While it's good to focus deeply, it's even better to study a little bit every day. For example, repeating vocabulary for 15 minutes each day is more effective than studying for 2 hours only once a week. This is because our memory fades over time. If we don't review what we learn, we forget it. Repeating the same information daily keeps it fresh in our minds. Over time, the repeated practice makes the learning stronger and longer lasting. Daily repetition builds strong habits. It teaches your brain to expect English each day, and that keeps you in learning mode. You don't need to feel overwhelmed. Just doing something small each day adds up to big improvements. Repetition helps your English learning go smoothly. Learning English can be an exciting but challenging journey. At first, it might feel overwhelming with all the new words, grammar rules, sentence structures, and pronunciation differences. But there's one powerful method that makes everything easier and smoother: repetition. Repetition is not just a simple trick. It is a natural way for the brain to learn and remember information. Whether you're trying to remember vocabulary, speak clearly, or understand what others are saying, repeating things over and over helps your learning process go smoothly and effectively. Let's explore how repetition works and why it's so helpful in mastering the English language. Why repetition works. Repetition helps move information from your short-term memory to your long-term memory. If you only see or hear something once, you will likely forget it quickly. But if you repeat it often, especially over several days, your brain stores it more deeply. Think about how you learned your native language. As a child, you heard the same words and phrases many times. Parents often repeat simple words like eat, sleep, or thank you every day. Over time, you learn to say them without effort. The same principle works for English learning, too. Repetition gives your brain the time and practice it needs to fully understand and remember. Repetition improves pronunciation and speaking. Pronunciation is a common challenge for English learners. English has many sounds that don't exist in other languages. Repeating these sounds and words helps your mouth and tongue get used to the correct movements. Try this with the word through, which is often hard to pronounce. Say it slowly and clearly 10 times. Through, through, through. Practice full sentences. I walked through the park. He looked through the window. Listen to native speakers say it and try to copy their tone and rhythm. When you repeat, you're training your muscles to pronounce words naturally. Over time, your pronunciation will improve, and your speaking will sound smoother and more confident. Repetition builds confidence. One of the biggest benefits of repetition is that it builds confidence. When you know you've practiced a word, sentence, or conversation many times, you feel ready to use it. You don't hesitate or feel nervous. Imagine trying to say, "Nice to meet you," in English. If you've only practiced once, you might forget it in a real situation. But if you've said it aloud 20 times and practiced in role play, it will come out smoothly when you need it. Repetition gives you the chance to master small parts of the language until they feel easy. With each success, your confidence grows. Repetition doesn't mean boring. Some people think repetition is boring, but it doesn't have to be. You can make repetition fun by watching your favorite movie scenes multiple times, singing English songs again and again, playing English word games that involve repeating words, practicing with friends in speaking challenges, reading your favorite English story out loud every day. By using materials you enjoy, repetition becomes something to look forward to, not a boring task. Conclusion. Repetition is a quiet but powerful tool in learning English. It makes remembering easier, speaking smoother, and listening clearer. Every time you repeat a word, sentence, or sound, you take one more step forward. Your brain becomes more familiar with the language, and your confidence grows. Learning English doesn't have to be hard or stressful. With regular repetition, your journey becomes more natural and enjoyable. The more you repeat, the better you get. And soon, your English will start to flow smoothly, just like a conversation with a friend. So remember, repeat often, learn deeply, speak confidently. Let repetition be your daily companion on the road to English success. Daily repetition is the quiet force behind every successful English learner. It may seem simple, but it is powerful. By repeating words, phrases, sounds, and sentences every day, you build your memory, your confidence, and your natural fluency. You don't need to rush or do everything at once. Just repeat a little each day, and you'll grow stronger, faster, and more confident in English. So remember, repeat daily, learn deeply, improve steadily. That is the real key to getting better at English.